We've lost more than we realize. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your cup of coffee and let's check out this article from Yahoo Finance because, well, it's very close to a topic I've discussed many times. Part of the issue with housing affordability is, well, comparing it to a single person's wage is kind of pointless because you need both people to work. And what happens is, well, gone are the days of when you could have a single income household where the father usually would be running off and being the primary breadwinner, supporting his wife and family at home. And then his wife could spend time raising their children. And often for the younger years of the child's life, the mother was there. We had one project manager we were working with who was pregnant around the same time Rachel was. And I think they both went into labor early. Oh, no, she went into labor early, Rachel didn't. And this poor woman had to get back to work soon. Her partner wouldn't let her stay home, couldn't afford to or wouldn't let her. So she had to go back to work and put a very young infant in daycare, and it's really sad. Is it worth it, what you're missing out on? Particularly the early period of a child's life when they need to bond with their mother, when they need to be breastfed. Think about the IQ boost we could get as a nation if the majority of our people were breastfed. That'd be worth it. Pay for itself in one generation. A few months of childcare. Or a few months of maternity leave where a mother can spend more time breastfeeding the baby if it's possible. Not everyone can. Don't get me wrong. Formula saves lives. It's a fantastic invention, but breast is best. So, stressed out mum vents over necessary $150 a day in order to survive. The expense. Carissa McCall revealed her experience sending her son to daycare has been fraught with issues. An Australian mum has vented about the tough reality plaguing many parents across Australia. When a newborn reaches a certain age, they'll likely be placed in daycare and the caregiver, who was on parental leave, will return to work. And many parents are struggling with the transition amid the cost of living crisis. This is why they'll often tell women that everything changes once you have kids. And the same thing actually happens to dads too. When you become a parent, your entire perspective about life and what matters and what's really important, it completely changes. It completely changes. So often you'll find, and I've seen it in my profession, I've seen women leaving the architectural profession, picking careers where they can have greater flexibility and more time with their kids. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Carissa McComb, McComb, not McCall. That was spelled wrong. I thought that was an odd name. Said she was very lucky to spend a year with her son before putting him into daycare and going back to work. I mean, that should just be normal, being able to spend a year. A 1-year-old is still a baby. They're still very young. I'm a bit sensitive at the moment because my 5-year-old, nearly 6, gave up her Monster pillow and Elmo pillow to Edward, her little brother. And she was, oh boy, she wouldn't even let me lie on it. But she explained to Yahoo Finance that the decision had some unexpected consequences. We were getting to the stage where we're spending more than what we're earning, she said. So me going back to work just had to happen. Otherwise, there was going to be a bit of a debt coming in. We may not be able to eat the foods we've been happily eating. Well, I mean, sometimes maybe you just change your quality of life. I mean, in the homeschooling community, you've got a lot of families where the mum is usually the one staying home educating the children. And that's sacrificing that income to spend time with the kids. It just doesn't feel natural. It's because it's not. Daycare is not a normal thing. Daycare was never the norm. Daycare, the argument that little kids need to socialize, it's complete bullshit. They don't play together. It's parallel play. They play next to each other. They want to see their primary caregiver. You don't want them to suffer separation anxiety. The 33-year-old, who is based on the Gold Coast with her husband, said it's been difficult sending her son to daycare. He hasn't taken to the new surroundings well and won't eat or drink while he's there. Yeah, because he's suffering from separation anxiety. He's meant to be with you. He's meant to be with your mum. We had a tremendous advantage over other people in the way we'd set up our lives. When we had our first daughter, we brought her to work. So we had the baby around the office. And if you didn't like it, I didn't give a shit. Because it was our business. And that's how we wanted to set up our life, because we wanted to live our lives our way. And I think we may have scared a whole lot of young 20-something blokes from ever wanting to have kids. But, it's just facing reality. One time she was, the server rooms are great places for a baby to sleep because of the hum of the server. The fan works really well. One time she was asked to come in to give him some milk because he wouldn't drink it unless she specifically fed it to him. Oh, well. You got to find a way to stay with your son. Cut back on stuff, on expenses, on things you don't want in your life. What you can't eat, what you want to eat, change your diet. Spend more time with your kid. It's more important. It's gonna go like that. Like lightning. 5 minutes ago, I was driving from a ultrasound looking at a flashing dot. Now that flashing dot is 11 years old out with her friends. Goes too quick. Don't do it for what? And that's the bad thing we have today in Australia, where both people have to work. That's the real shit thing about it. And now both people have to work not just to get a house or to get ahead, just to pay rent. It doesn't feel natural when you have to choose between having a roof over your head or being there for your child, she told Yahoo Finance. Well, that's because you got to... Okay, she runs her own business selling bath and body products while her husband is a nuclear medicine scientist. So he should be earning enough money, you'd imagine, to support the family. You'd hope. And if she's got her own business, then why is the kid in daycare? Have the kid around at home. You can do both. Why not? You're talking to an architect that did. Well, she said they earn enough to get by. They have to be very careful with their finances to afford daycare on top of their other expenses. What happened? There's a book I've got here. A Pattern Language by Christopher Alexander. And this is a fantastic design book. I'm going to take it home and read it again, actually. And it goes through different design ideas from independent regions, distributed towns, to, where is a good one here, about having children in the workplace, seeing what's happening in the town, green streets, homes for couples, small services without red tape. It's like a libertarian fantasy, this book. But, okay, the nuclear medicine scientists can't have the kids around. But if you're selling bath and body products, sure you can. You can find a way to make it happen. If you're selling it online, why not? Daycare in her area costs $150 a day, and mum sends her son 3 times a week. While the government's childcare subsidy takes a decent chunk of that bill, she said it's still a huge dent in their finances. It's so expensive, she said. We looked at the cost, and it's cheaper to send your child to a private school than it is to send them to daycare, which blows my mind. Well, wait till you see kindergarten, how expensive that is. I compared kindergarten. We sent Mina there for a little bit. We got over that bloody quick. Compared it to HEX fees for subjects. I couldn't believe it. Dealing with mum guilt. Now, this is apparently a thing, Rachel tells me. She posted a video on TikTok raging about the situation she and many other parents faced. Well, it's your own choice. You can decide. You don't. Okay, here's the thing. You have permission to change your life, Do not live like everyone else. You can do it. You can make some sacrifices, make some changes. Sending your kids in daycare in order to be able to survive should not be a normal thing. It never was. It never was. It's complete bullshit. It should be a last resort for people that are destitute or people who don't have family support. The government should not be throwing all this money into it. We should have a society where people can spend time with their kids. A 1-year-old should not have to be given to someone else to take care of. If at all, should be family. It's so effed that to continuing being able to live our life, we have to send our child to a centre for someone else to look after them, so we can go to work and afford to pay bills for their daycare as well as our food. Yeah, okay, that's called being a grown up. The sad reality. Yeah, that's. Hang on. Let's look at it. I'm going to look this up. What's this? Australian wage. What is it? Nuclear scientist. Nuclear medicine salary Australia. Nuclear medicine technologist. Is that what it is? Could be. Maybe a scientist is more. 85 grand a year. Okay. In Brisbane, yeah, close enough. 85 to 141. Okay. Nuclear medicine. What about scientist? Let's have a look. Because if he's only on 85 grand a year, that's going to be tough. Human verification. Yeah, okay, I'm a human, you know that. Nuclear. I don't want to know what I get paid. Okay, 80 grand, 85 grand. Okay, so shit. Is that a? That's not. 85 grand. It's going to be hard to get buying a house, running a household on that. You could do it, but it doesn't make sense. I hate this feeling. This mum guilt is so real right now. Well, yes, no, that's a normal. It's a normal feeling. You're not meant to be separated from your child at that age. They're completely dependent on you. It's unnatural what you're doing. That's the harsh reality of it. She was met with loads of comments from other people saying they're in the same situation. I feel this is so deeply in my soul. Had to work in order to have PPL with my second baba. And daycare just destroyed my heart, said one person. The government, the government really needs to increase the cutoff for family tax benefits so mums who want to stay home and raise their own children can. My husband is a plumber on a good wage, but we struggle, wrote another. Yeah, I mean, that everyone thinks I'm raking it in with my huge army of kids, the family tax benefits, but that pisses away real quick, guys. Once you earn a certain amount, it disappears. I mean, maybe I could just be a bum, just living off that. I don't think I'd enjoy it very much. McComb was overwhelmed by all the messages and said she helped to know it wasn't alone. She said her husband said they will likely only have one more child because any more and they won't be able to get by. Come on. That's bullshit. Okay, kids don't cost them. They need to change their lifestyle. Childcare could soon cost just $10 a day. If they do that, where are they going to get the money from? An initiative was launched earlier this year that could dramatically reduce childcare costs. Early childhood advocates launched a bill for consultation of Parliament. Okay, 3 days a week, early learning, yada, 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 to low-income families. Yeah, they're not a low-income family. He's on at least 80, 90 grand, if not more, if he's on 150 grand. She's got her own business. They won't get it. See, this is it. They want women working in the workforce. Get your working, get work. We'll tax you, get more of your working. Let the state raise your kids. Let these early childhood educations put your kids in parallel play so you're under the misconception that they need to be socialized at a super young age. This is not natural. This is really sad, honestly. It's really sad. This is not the solution. This is just bullshit. This is just another industry sucking at the teat of government and using taxpayer money to prop them up. and they're using children and guilt and feminism to push all this crap, and now you're getting mothers who can't even spend any time with their kids. Let's have a chat about this one, guys. I suspect the average person doesn't know the, well, negative consequences of sending children to childcare, the risk of child abandonment, the false narrative around socializing extremely young children, and, well, the fact that the guilt that women feel from being separated from a child, particularly at that young age. And some of them get put in as infants, as babies. It's insane. You'd think in a civilization as advanced with the resources that we have now, we could afford time for mothers to spend with their kids. What do you reckon, guys? Let me know your thoughts on this one in the comments below. And you know what? I will pin a video that I think you should all watch. Check it out in the comments after this video. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.